It is time for Bible Basics for a Life Fully Lived with Professor Peter Sibilio. Good morning, Professor Pete.
Good morning. I'm glad you said the one and the only, but you know what? I have so many bills that if there were 4 or 5 more of me, I want to pick up the slack.
I'm with you on that one.
First thing I want to do is really thank our bishop and our diocese for the Pilgrimage of Hope last Sunday. That was absolutely wonderful. And a shout out to Jason, who came up to me after Mass at the Sorrowful Mother Shrine in Bellevue and was just so gracious, talked about how he loves the station, loves what we do. And so a shout out to Jason, and just what a wonderful Sunday that was.
Yeah, and I know Pat Odie Murray was present for that. She's talked about that. Unfortunately, I missed it, but what a wonderful opportunity. Not only that, but so many things in our diocese. The Diocese of Toledo ain't nothing like it in the whole wide world. I promise you. That's not just a statement. That's the truth.
Really, really on fire with faith. And so praise for that, but, a little bit of blame for you because, about a month ago, you said, we're going to give you 5 to 7 minutes. And I said, I have this really great idea for some bumper stickers and how Father Eric can get a banner.
There you go.
And I still haven't gotten to that. So shame on you for giving a PhD 5 to 7 minutes because it's going to take months before we even get to that. Hate to say we're leaving Father Eric hanging.
But I think he'll be okay.
Something that, kept coming up on Bible Basics that I know some folks liked is kind of an expression we had called Jesus judo, how even without force, Jesus just flips the script. Even from expectations we have that aren't bad. I love old Westerns, and, they put on this morality play, and you're just rooting for the good guys. And I remember this past week, or quite recently, there was this old episode of Bonanza where little Joe, the innocent son, is captured by horse thieves. And sure enough, Big Ben Cartwright tracks them all down. And just as poor innocent Joe is about to be killed, Ben Cartwright comes riding over the hill and saves his son and vanquishes the bad guys. And I thought that was great. But then I said, wait a minute. Jesus went up the hill, up Calvary. His father was there, but he didn't rescue Jesus. Jesus becomes our rescue by refusing rescue for himself. And even then, you wonder, was Satan himself surprised? Because Isaiah says, so high are my ways above your ways. And, maybe Satan could say, okay, well, you escaped death, good for you. But I told you long ago, these human beings will turn on you. They are worthless, and now they are mine. But no, Jesus says, death is not departure. And to confound the powers of this world, the ways of this world, the powers of the air, and even himself, whammo, Jesus judo. He flips the script. He changes the cross from our greatest rejection of God to God's greatest acceptance and embrace of us. He becomes human to re-image humans. He takes on the sins against the law to fulfill the law, and he takes on death to free both the dead and even those not yet born. That's kind of an issue that some in Thessaloniki have. And they tell Paul, we're so upset because some of us are dying and we think we have to hang on to this life until Jesus comes back so we get resurrection. And Paul says, I get to console you here, and you can console one another. You can't hide behind the grave, and the grave can't separate you from God anymore, because humanity, against all expectations, humanity can receive divinity, and divinity has now received humanity. Jesus judo, he flips the script, he changes everything. And we say, that's a Savior we love, that's a Savior we can root for, go Jesus. But there's a catch. He rises and he looks at us and says, you are re-imaged. You too must confront sin, carry your cross each day, and flip the script on Satan. Because Jesus isn't just a judo master, he's a master teacher. And so, brothers and sisters, whammo, bammo, it's our judo time today.
Whammo, bammo. I think that's That's the bumper sticker right there. But Professor Pete, we fail to see the radical thing that Jesus did, right? That he came and he died, that he's God. And then if we don't understand that part, how in the world, to your point, are we going to understand the radical calling that we have now? That is absolutely opposite of everything the world tells us is success, because we serve a God who died on a cross and we killed him.
Yes. Talk about a change in expectations. It's why you get the sense that even Satan was shocked. How can you do this? At least I get them. If I don't get you, they got you, and so I get them.
Yeah.
But think of the power and the mission that now gives us. We have to do the same thing, changing our expectations, and each and every day changing the way the world sees things, being the difference, being the change. Last week we talked about, what we are believing is what we must be living. We can almost see that in reverse. Whatever we do by the end of the day shows us and the world what we actually do believe. If I start out with a blank sheet, have my actions filled in the creed by the end of the day. Because that is really, filling in that creed is a great way each and every day to flip the script.
I mean, and you think about this idea that if we truly believe that God, who has existed for all time, always has been, always will be, is all powerful, and he came and he died on the cross to save us. If we truly believe that, if that doesn't change us, then I would question whether we truly believe that he did that or not.
And that it empowers us. We're different because of it. Yeah. That's kind of what gives us our power. It's easy to cheer for Jesus. It's harder to do what he did and do what he says. Of course, we can't do everything he did, but he always shares that power and responsibility with us. Do people come to know me through what you do today?
Yeah, and again, when we hear Jesus, we often say, I wouldn't ask you to do something I wouldn't do. Well, with Jesus, it's like where there is no end to the generosity. There is no end to the giving of himself. No. And he does ask us to do the thing that he did, which is lay down our lives and live in a way that draws many people to him. So thank you, Professor Pete. God bless you, brother. Have a great week.
See you next week.